Okay, please be seated.
So good morning, everyone, and we're so happy that you're able to make the time from your schedules to come for these precious Dharma teachings with Kenchen Gyaltshen Rinpoche. And maybe just a little on the housekeeping, maybe good time we can go ahead and silence our cell phones. And if you need to get up sometime, it's okay, you need to stretch, or restroom is here, it's all right. And at the lunch break, we will also have the Dharma shop open, and we may ask for a little bit of community help together setting things up or clean up after the meals, yeah? And so again, we're so fortunate, so happy to have Rinpoche here. And the last time was just a little over 1 year ago. Also, Rinpoche was here. So I'd like to share, many of you know Rinpoche, some is new, a little of his life, his biography. Yeah. So Kenchen Gyaltshen Rinpoche, the village of Sari in Tibet is, this area is some of the very, very sacred places in Tibet. And Kenchen Rinpoche was born there in the Sari area in 1946. And in 1960, because of the various political situations in Tibet, then he fled with his family to India, and they settled in Darjeeling, where he began more of his education. At a young age, he was very dedicated and excellent student, and able to complete his middle schools in less than the average time. And he completed middle school, and then there was a new university, the Central Institute of Higher Tibetan Studies in Varanasi, India, and he traveled there in 1967 and attended there. And there he began the 9-year course, studying Madhyamika, Abhidharma, Vinaya, Samayakara, many, Uttara Tantra, and so forth, and also history and logic and Tibetan grammar. And in 1968, he had the great fortune to first receive his ordination vows under the great Kala Rinpoche. And after graduating from the institute, he also received teachings from the 16th Karmapa on the 8 treasures of Mahamudra songs. And so after all these studies, he wanted to deepen his practice and his knowledge, and he sought out teachings, instructions from great Buddhist masters. One was the very venerable Kuna Lama Rinpoche, and there he studied the jewel ornament of liberation, precious garland of the excellent path, the Mahamudra, and the Rinpoche song, so many things, yeah. In 1978, Kenchen Rinpoche began the traditional 3-year retreat under the guidance of our very precious Kyungla Rinpoche in the Lamayuru Monastery. And then during this time, he was able to deepen and enhance his understanding in the Fivefold Path of Mahamudra and the profound one thought of Jigten Sungwan. Then in 1985, he traveled to the main seat of our Drikung Kagyu lineage in Drikuntil in Tibet. And there he received blessings and teachings instructions from the enlightened master Venerable Pachung Rinpoche. So also very rare he received these teachings from so many of our really highly enlightened masters. And then in 19 82, then all the various karmas, and fortunate for us, was when he first came to the US. And he established a Tibetan Meditation Center, which was first in Washington, D.C., and then later moved to Frederick, Maryland. And at that time, actually, His Holiness Dalai Lama also visited the center there over a number of years, and then also our His Holiness Drikung Khyabgon Chetsang. So again, Rinpoche has established centers throughout the US, in Europe, Asia, Chile, different places. And then really, he's translated so many of our Dharma texts. We would not have our texts without all of Rinpoche's efforts and really precision, you know, and he has so much efforts. So our Nondo texts, there's just many, many texts to name that he's actually responsible how we got the text, you know. And then in addition to that, also many books he's translated and transcribed for English. The Jewel Ornament, the Garland of Mahamudra Practices, Calling the Lama from Afar, different ones, and we have some in the shop, and we'll be getting some more soon by next weekend. So he has many, many beautiful teachings, and actually as we've been studying the Jewel Ornament, we're using Rinpoche's translations. Yeah? So in 2001, he was honored with the title Kenchen, which roughly translates to Great Abbot. You know, it's very rare also to meet a Lama like Kenchen Rinpoche, has all the trainings in the Buddhist philosophy, but also really profound meditation experience. So he's also has a beautiful English, and we're so fortunate to be able to receive the teachings today. And then for those in the Spanish channel, Fanny will be translating for Spanish. And the text we're using for today, we have the English and we have Vietnamese for some who are here today. So Rinpoche, we would like to do the opening prayers.
Okay, please.
Okay. And so we will share the text for in the Zoom. Those who have the book, or Simla, who's there on that side? There's some just on the little table there. We just do the opening prayers. You can share. We just need for the beginning and then.
Page number 6 or what?
Yes, page 6. So we'll start with the Bodhicitta prayer. If you don't have, maybe you can share with your neighbor.
First English or Tibetan?
Yeah, you can. Okay, we'll go ahead and start. Okay, for those that are 3 times, we'll do twice in Tibetan and once in English for today, and Spanish channel will do Spanish.
severe obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness. May they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious Buddhahood. Until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. With the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, I go for refuge to the enlightened. May I, through virtues such as giving, attain Buddhahood for others' sake.
So on page 10, we will have the mandala offering. Just start the prayer till we're ready, then
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming here today to reflect some of the Buddha's teaching. As we know, there are so many things in the world, everywhere, and people are keeping busy in their life, including animals, insects, birds, in the ocean, all the sea mammals, birds. They all keep busy doing something, to looking for some peace, happiness, looking to free from suffering. That is the what you say, a universal reality. It's not as something that religious belief, or it's not something that cultural belief. Those who are educated, uneducated, those who are very rich, those who are poor, everyone is in this world, in that field. So this is why here that to reflect on these things. And you see, therefore as we said as prayers, all non-essential things, they have happiness and causes of happiness. May everybody free from suffering and causes of suffering. This, as mentioned, is not just a religious belief or some culture, some traditions. So it's reflect on this. Having said that, so many things are created. All of different religions have found. Different culture system is found. Different methods are created, organized to do something right. Feelings that my way is the right, or this way is the right. This should be done this way, that way, or this, as you can see. So up until now, there's so many things, including modern science, technologies, specially invented and introduced to the society. How to tackle the problems, difficulties, how to make life better, more peaceful, more happy, or happier, all these things. But you can see it is all mostly it's in the material point of view. So as you see here, all the technologies you can see, smartphone, all the social medias, all this are introduced so that life can become easier, better. All this designed from the material point of view. And we know there's such called mind. Mind is something that is very complex. Or in other words, we don't pay attention so much to the mind. Because we don't see the mind, we cannot touch the mind. We cannot location of the mind, scientists are so looking for that, searching for that, haven't found yet. So, there is a sense of the mind, but cannot really pinpoint. So you see, because of that, you just put aside. All we use of high-tech machine, all this sophisticated technologies machine to making robots. As you can see, so many robots are net created. Now they're coming. AI, artificial intelligence, is there. So some, those who have kind of ability to handle those things, they are looking forward to get better things. And those who don't know, like myself, were a little afraid what that will happen, what that will do, A lot of discussions about that. And it's kind of dehumanizing, Taking all the jobs of the people in the town, So those big companies, they can take advantage of those things, you see. So like this, there are a lot of things you see. You see, all as we know, when we pay attention more, is the mind. We all know that. Even we don't see the mind, When I feel relaxed, feel happier mentally, I feel more happy, more relaxed, more spacious. When my mind is agitated, become just sensitive, then I don't feel good. Even maybe I prepare very nice breakfast, I cannot enjoy so much, I cannot experience the taste of the food. I was thinking because I was agitated by mind. See? So that what is then what the question, how should I relax my mind? So like this is the mind is at the end of the day, the mind is the total solution. This is something very profound, very vast subject. Generally, all this creation, everything is the product of the mind. See? Mind think how to do things. Mind think investigate how to improve, how to make better, how to make more sophisticated. That's the mind. Robot, we make robot, but we, what do you call it? We record it. We record it in the robot, and that reply when you ask the questions. Right now, the robot has no feeling. You praise robot, oh, you are so beautiful, you are wonderful. It doesn't have feeling. Say, you are so bad, you are this, that. It doesn't have feeling. And especially there's no fear. There's no hope. You see, but the mind, everyone has, even small bugs, their fear. Always alert. What will happen? Like you look at the deer when they're drinking water, constantly you're watching, something will happen. Birds have that. Oh, insects have that. It's, so that's the mind. So because of that, the I repeated these things before. If I refresh, before become Buddha, he was called Siddhartha. Most of you know. He was born in a Himalaya range, a small kingdom. His father was a successful man. He provided, the father provided all things that what he needed. Here's everything at that time. But also, the father provided him all the education that existed at that time. He went to school. All he studied. All the education that exists, including different types of religions, meeting different gurus. So while he is growing in his kingdom, he has a very beautiful palace, lot of servants. He has a wife, beautiful wife, a king, and all that now that we can call a perfect life. But he was not indulged in that. He was going around the country, looking after the people, the rich people, how they live, the poor people, how they live, those who are aging, those who are sick, those who are dying, those who are young, good life. He was looking, observing, she said, observing all this. Sometimes he sits under the tree, reflect on this, reflecting to himself. What I have, right now I'm young. I have all things that I have, but this will not last long. Looking at those poor, old people, those who are sick. So when I get in that kind of situation, how should I handle? How much material can provide when we need it? All these things. He was reflecting on this until he was 29. Now we can say he was investigating. Sometimes people will tell you stories, something like well planned, ahead, everything's planned, But in reality, when you really think about carefully, he was investigating all this. So enjoying in the kingdom was not the solution for himself and people in the country everywhere. So then from religious point of view, so there's some hardship, the ascetic life. So then, when he was 29, he renounced the kingdom. More experience. For 6 years, he was in such an ascetic life, not eating food, drinking, no shelter, no clothes. Sometimes you see his body, skeleton, just bone and the skin, You see, and he achieved such a high state of meditative state, samadhi. Still, he couldn't find the solution. this, if I free of the suffering, not yet. You see. Then he just investigated more, reflected more. But just the very luxurious life is no solution for the suffering. Very ascetic life, hardship is not a solution for the suffering. So he broke or break this true system, said middle way, see, renounce that life and just eat enough to sustain the life and appreciate what you have. You see. But that's also not the final solution. His way is good, but not final solution. Now what? So that is, I was talking about this mind. Mind is so complex. Even I achieve that kind of high state of meditation. Still I haven't found. So now, how much should I do to reflect the mind? So then, say, everything's interdependent, interconnected. So, you realize the three training is the method. Meditative, you see first, moral ethics, morality, Shiva, Shiva. Avoiding all the causes and conditions of the problem. Right. And then meditative state. That was it. Then on about that, most important is the prajna, especially inside. Without that realization, nothing, we cannot overcome all those suffering, especially the cause of the suffering. So by that understanding, realization, then he went to the Gaya, as you see, with the enlightenment. Here, with full attention, with the full conviction, with one pointed mind, without any distraction. He went step by step. And then, with these three causes condition, he achieved awakened state. Then we call he was enlightened, called Buddha. Then he personally realized that this is how you can overcome all suffering and cause of suffering. Then he's with full confidence says, I achieved the awakened state, the enlightenment, Buddha. And he has no fear to declare that. And he said, I'm enlightened. I achieved fully awakened state. There's no one can come say you are not enlightened. So he achieved fearlessness state. And from there, through his wisdom. So this is not a religious thing, no. It's discovering what we call ultimate nature. So he saw all the sensation beings in the world. Everyone desire for peace and happiness, but they don't have that. The mind is just occupied by the delusions, creations. So from that wisdom that he kindled, discovered, and then from that, the great compassion was just arise as a flavor of that wisdom. So it's compassion, unfabricated compassion to all the sentient beings. Everyone is desperate to free from suffering, to achieve peace and happiness. Yet they are suffering relentlessly due to the delusions, mental delusions. And it's very difficult to recognize that, to see that, difficult to get rid of that delusions. Because we're so habituated, inveterate within us. That the habit is very difficult to break through. Even we as a Dharma practitioners, we study, we practice, we know it. We know our mind limitation, but difficult to get rid of it. Because it's a pernicious attachment, deeply rooted. It requires a lot of strength, determination. So look at these, see these things. So from there, so then he taught the first Four Noble Truths. You see. Everyone knows, the Four Noble Truths. He reduced the suffering. So this is suffering. First said you should know the suffering. And this is suffering. Once you know it, there's no more to know. And this is the cause of suffering. We should avoid the cause of suffering. Once you avoid it, purify the cause of suffering, there's no more to avoid. You should attain the cessation, the nirvana, cessation of the suffering. Once you cease to exist, the cause of suffering, there's nothing to cease. But yet to achieve that cessation, you should follow the path. The eightfold path, you don't have it. So you still must follow the truth. It's causality and the result. So here's the first very important issue. This is not a religious thing. It's not a Buddhism. It's not something Buddha had created, but that how it functions. When you make fire, the water boils. When there's no fire, no matter how much you expect, the water will be hot. It can't be hot, So to boil the water, you need the fire. So how to make the fire, how to do this. It's all interdependent. Interconnection. Causes and conditions. See? Our mind is, when there's nothing is going on, mind is calm, peaceful. When there's something happens, then the mind reacts from that. Depending on the causes, condition. See? So, think about something, there's causes and conditions and reflex. See? So all that is mentioned, the habit that we have used to, for a long time that keep repeating on and on and on. Sometimes you feel that kind of habit is incorrigible. Do you feel that? Can I make it? No. if this is possible or not. If you reflect more, this the reflection of this habit is not permanent. You see, it's just coming manifest according to the causes conditions. That means it is impermanent. Having been impermanent, it can change. Change means we can purify. So we need the courage, based on the wisdom, understanding that these are required you to study, practice dharma. Otherwise we just follow it's a culture, this and that, they do this, the monastery, they do this, they have this, they do this, this is supposed to be this way, you know. These are all good tradition, you know. It's a culture. From the culture point of view, look at the Buddhist country, you know, Tibet, and then Chinese, and Vietnamese, and Thailand, all the Buddhist countries, Sri Lanka, everyone has something different, you know. You see, they do ceremony something different, you know. Language, different language, you know. But from the point of view of Four Noble Truth, there's no any difference. Cause of suffering is cause of suffering to everybody. The cause for peace and happiness is for everybody. Make sense?
Yes.
So this wisdom, you should understand the wisdom taught. When? How long? For how long this wisdom is taught? Over 2,000, about 600 years, you know, taught that wisdom, you see. We now reflect how amazing that is. Especially now that the science are so highly advanced. Still, you see, we are having a hard time to understand what Buddha said. See, we don't have to change anything. Buddha said this is wrong. Some scholars may say, oh, maybe some need some adjustment. They are confusion. Okay. They cannot communicate what Buddha taught precisely. If they can communicate what the Buddha taught precisely, there's nothing to change. So we are lacking the real wisdom to, you know, to reveal what Buddha said. That's why we take refuge. Unparalleled, you know, it's unparalleled refuge. And that's what Buddha taught. Also, at the same time, Buddha said, see, Buddha was very honest, sincere to followers. I cannot go around and say, you know, take out your suffering. I cannot go around and take out your delusions. neither I cannot give my realization to you. So I become Buddha, I realize, now take it. You know? But what I can do is I can tell you what I realize. You study that, you practice that. See, he made very clear. He didn't say, pray to me and I will solve your problem. You are your own you are your own responsibility. You have to take the responsibility yourself. That's, I think, is one of the very important gift. Otherwise, sometimes you pray this, you do Buddha, this with your problem, and so on. You pray, Buddha, this is Buddha, then you go to some such place, you know. So you think Buddha will take you all, you know. If in that case, Buddha must be done by now. That's not the case, you see. So contemplate on this. First of all. It makes sense?
Yes.
I'm not preaching, you know. You see, I'm just sharing from my limited understanding, you know. I know there are some, my old friends says, I met in the 80s, you know, there's some, my friends who I met in the 80s, you know, they're alive now. And, you know, and they're old, they're sick, you know. But still we have few here around. So if you have any questions or any suggestions, you know, then please, you know, we can discuss. Okay? Yeah. Yes.
You mentioned the phrase, the purification of the cause of suffering.
Oh?
The purification
Uh-huh.
of the cause of suffering, the purification of the cause.
Yeah. Purification is the purification to purify the cause of suffering, yes.
Can you explain what the purification is?
Because first of all, the cause of suffering is made by the mind through the delusion. Now you develop wisdom. So I made this mistake. It's not right. So you correct your mistake. So it's called purification. Okay. So you chant mantra. You say, oh, this I made mistake. I confess. I will not repeat. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
You see, like say, when you are angry, anger, it's a suffering in the mind. You don't realize there's a suffering when I'm angry. And later you realize, oh, I was very mentally disturbed by my anger. So anger is the one who disturbed my mind. That's not right. I made a mistake. Now I will give up being angry. Yeah, and purify my anger. You see, when you purify your anger, then you find your mind more relaxed. Okay, so you purify your anger. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, Rinpoche. How do we grow Buddhism?
Now, just use the microphone, then they can hear the question in Zoom.
Yes.
Thank you.
I can also hear.
Yeah.
Yes, Rinpoche. I just want to ask, you can share with us how we can grow more Buddhism.
See, now we'll talk about those. Yes. Yes. We'll talk about this, you know. First, these are some introduction, you know. It's very important to have a good introduction. What to the talk. You have to repeat this again and again. Oh, this one to the talk. I will practice. So, Buddha's teaching is for everybody. Okay, there's no limitation. Buddha's teaching is not just only for Buddhists. Buddha's teaching is not just for monks and nuns. Buddha's teaching is for everybody. Especially human beings. Because animals are under the mercy of the human beings. When the human beings have more understanding, have more wisdom, more compassion, then you see the animals will be eating more peaceful. Otherwise, look at nowadays, you see there's a chicken farm, fish farm. Those people, they have no really wisdom. If these animals are suffering, they're like a piece of wood. Have no any feeling of they have some suffering that I need to help them. Look at this, you see. That's also first Buddha says, Bodhicitta comes from there. See. This is the first important point to develop bodhicitta. First, look at the suffering of the animals, sentient beings, those who are getting old, those who are getting sick, and that's it, they are desperate. And we are the condition of that. I know maybe we're young, we're healthy, okay, I can drive here, there, but that doesn't mean we will be free, we don't have the cause of condition of suffering. We are under the condition of suffering of all this. See? So that's what Buddha said, you should know the suffering. It doesn't mean, you see, I'm suffering terribly, we know that is suffering. Everybody knows that. But what are more about the suffering? The suffering of change, the suffering of conditions. We are a condition of aging, We'll age every year, every minute, you see. And then, so that is following, coming up, this suffering of change. And we enjoy our life, all these things so wonderful, beautiful. That doesn't last long. Then you see, but we are so indulged in that. Our mind is so occupied by this temporary joy, happiness. And then we are not satisfied. In the world, there's no satisfaction. See? Even billionaires are not satisfied, isn't it? Is that right? They're not satisfied.
Especially billionaires.
Especially
them.
there are some people,
They're very unhappy people.
they are unhappy. Unhappy billionaires.
Any other question? Hold on, Dan, let me get the.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask a question about cessation of the causes of suffering.
Cessation of the suffering, yeah.
So gross obscurations are
Yes.
very easy. Say that
Yeah.
when I have a day where I'm very angry, that's an easy one because it's
Yes.
very gross.
Gross is easier to.
But they always come from subtle obscurations.
Yes.
And what is your advice for us lay practitioners, how we can identify subtle obscurations and how to purify those on a more subtle level for suffering?
Subtle obscuration that you see. Look at the mind. Do you know everything? So that means there's obscuration. Okay. So that's obscuration is a subtle obscuration. Okay. I don't know what is underneath, so you don't know. So there's some is hidden there, That hidden that is then the obscuration is called as a karmic obscuration. Mental afflictive emotion obscuration. And there's a called knowledge obscuration. Knowing everything, obscuration. So the karmic obscurations, you don't know the karma, all of the karma, all these things. And mental the afflictive emotion obscuration is, you see, we have obvious attachment, desire, aversion, arrogance, all these things, it's called mental afflictive emotion obscuration. Then there's, as I mentioned, we don't know everything. It's called obscuration of knowledge. So it's purify step by step. Okay. Yeah. So that is, as I mentioned, the three training which will come in the text, are so crucial. So that how when Buddha enlightened, so that's what I mean, he first fully awakened and everything becomes obvious. There's nothing to judge. Okay? There's nothing to judge in Buddha's mind. Everything's so obvious, clear. If Buddha sees me, Buddha knows me perfectly. He doesn't have to ask about me. He knows precisely like you, what I need, what I should do. So that's when Buddha first taught the Four Noble Truths. And as I mentioned, the mind is very profound. So there's so many steps you have to take. It's like you're peeling the onion. When you peel the onion, then you see, let's just peel, The mind is like that. In one way, I'm sure you have received a lot of Mahamudra teaching. Have you received a lot of Mahamudra teachings? Gyaltshen teachings?
Not a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure you have received, you read books, There's nothing to give up. There's nothing to, I'm sure those things you have received, But everything's just flow, everything's just manifestation, just take it easy, But then, after some time, it's not that easy, There's something to give up, There's something to work on, So these are very important. There's the great teachers in our past taught that way. Step by step. Mind has to go step by step. Otherwise, when you like pre-mature those advanced teachings, you receive those teachings, and they say, that's it. They say, yes, that's how it goes, Okay. For a few days you feel good. But after a few days, then repeating the same, then you feel, it's not working. They give up. Because they are not trained step by step. So the Buddha, first Buddha did say everything is empty, First said, you should know there's a suffering, but you should know this different suffering. Suffering of change, and the suffering of condition. There's all steps there. Okay. And the cause of suffering, look at this mental afflictions. And from that, what karma we're creating, the cause we're creating. Explain all this, how to avoid those. What happens after avoiding all this, you will achieve cessation of suffering. Nirod is called in Sanskrit. Nirod. Nirod is cessation of suffering. Nirod. Path, mark. Then you take the path step by step. So these are so important. First, when Buddha taught, everything is, here we have, everything is impermanent. All the composite phenomena are impermanent. Everything's changing, impermanent. Intellectually, I can accept. Experientially, I don't have in the mind changing. I see, this is me today. I was coming from yesterday. I was coming from last year. I am this, still I am. As long as when I remember my life, I feel the same, I am. You see, permanent, feeling of permanent. So that means we have not experienced impermanence. When you know the impermanence is changing, everything changes. Everything's flesh, like a star, the shooting star in the sky, just flash. Like this fan, you think you go around, it's impermanent. Everything's so impermanent, you see. Look at that. So every moment is keep changing. You see. Look at that. Meditate on this. There you see, then I should realize my mental afflictions also changing. Until I realize that my mental affliction is still strong. Because I have a sense of permanence of grasping, fixated. That's why it's difficult to get rid of mental afflictions. It's just continue the habit. That's why sometimes Buddha tell all the monks, sometimes they are distracted. So Buddha said, all monks, hear me. All the composite phenomena are impermanent. When Buddha said this, the monks feel so calming their mind, relaxing their mind. This is very important. We should reflect on this. Everything is impermanent. Especially as if people you don't like. That is permanent. That is permanent. Otherwise says he or she is my enemy, Yesterday, last year's enemy, yesterday's enemy, we just keep holding that because it's where the feeling of permanence. Seeing the enemy as yesterday, last year, all this cannot get rid of, cannot release in the mind. If you receive that, this is impermanent. He or she is impermanent, changing. They are suffering. Then you feel, your mind feels relaxed, your mind feels more flexible. These are more powerful than just emptiness. First reflect on those things. Touch on those bases. So that's why Buddha's teaching is so precious. There's two things, from intellectual point of view and experiential point of view. Intellectually, you can investigate, you can establish everything is impermanent. Then you can say, Buddhists believe everything is impermanent, something like a belief system. And from that, if you practice, follow that path, it's not just Buddhist belief. This is all where we are. How we are living in that moment. Living moment to moment. And your mind becomes soft, gentle. Your mind becomes more flexible. See? And then from there, it makes a space to develop compassion to others, loving kindness to others, because there's a wisdom. That wisdom, brings the insight. Make sense? Or am I talking nonsense? Helpful? Or not so helpful? I think these are so precious. We should understand Buddha's wisdom. When we go to a lot of teaching, there's an exhibition. Most of them just investigation, intellectual, what Buddhists believe, so Buddhists believe karma, Buddhists believe that this becomes Buddhism, But if you go through this experiential, it's not a Buddhism, it's a living. How we are is called unfabricated, uncontrived. When you see everything is moving, changing, breathing out, breathing in, when you see this, if the breathing go out and doesn't come back, what happens? See? We're so fragile. So sense of the impermanence, sense of the permanence destroyed by this experience, by this. And that becomes the foundation to develop all the good qualities of meditation. Otherwise, sometimes we practice for many years, nothing is progress. So what happened? I got nothing, That's what Milarepa said. He meditated on the impermanence so much. So this in Tibetan is just a children village. Namchi chame Konchog, children just a children of water tests. I escaped the mountain by fear of the death. But if I die today, especially, you are just perfectly healthy all the time. But if the breathing goes up, it doesn't come back. It's not threatening. Please understand that. Sometimes when you die, everything is impermanent. So he's just, so threatening us, he tries to scare us, It's not that. We have to understand practically, So Milarepa said, I escaped the mountain by fear of death. Well, I'm in the mountain. I persistently contemplate the impermanence. We just going to the mountain is not the solution. But when you are in the mountain, you are free from all the distraction, and then contemplate. So when I die, when I die, never know. Everything is just changing, flashing to light. He was practicing that. By practicing that, you see everything is like a mirage. Nothing is real now, you see. Nothing is real. It's like a mirage. It's like a rainbow. It's like a cloud. See? Then you see this spirit that look at our body. You see? Oh, look at all the organs, the skin, the bones, flesh, all this. It's all just a mirage. So he was practicing this out of bodhicitta, practicing that. So through this practice, he said, Chiming in the Justices, I captured the fortress of the unchanging, deathless nature. Now, totally realize as it is. This all just temple, this all are fabricated. It's all contrived, it's come. From emptiness, we made this temple. So designed the temple. We sized all to make the temple. Then we designed the temple, level as the temple, and then we are grasping, this is my temple, you know? This temple is so good, this is expensive, this is this, that's that, you know? Then we just fabricate all these things and attach to that, grasping. But when you realize this is just made by the mind, it's a product of the mind. Look at this. And then it makes the mind peaceful, calm. It's illusory. It's a manifestation of emptiness. It manifests from emptiness, dissolves into emptiness. Oh, just play with the emptiness, nobody can see. So that's what the Lama said. I captured the fortress, the unchanging nature of the deathlessness. Now I'm free from fear of the death. So death may come anytime. I'm here. See? So how precious the impermanence is. Don't think impermanence is just, what do you call preliminary. No. Something is preliminary. Impermanence is preliminary. I understand impermanence. I understand perfectly about impermanence. I don't need that now. I need something else, you know. I know I would suffer. That's why I'm here practicing Dharma. Can you give us how to free from suffering? I know the suffering, you know. So we just try to denigrate the preliminaries, making unimportant. But these are the most important. The causalities as well, the karma and cause, result. So precious these are. So they are, now I'm just trying to explain you that everything is not a Buddhism, but how everything constitutes. Okay, how everything Buddha taught is not something Buddha's culture, religion, but how to free from this suffering. Okay, and since the mind explanation, since the mind is so complex, mind is unfathomable, so profound, so vast. Because the mind is so vast, Buddha has that kind of all excellent qualities. Yeah. So how to handle our mind? So I'm explaining how to relate to our own mind. Okay. Mind is a very complex subject yourself. We all have the mind. A lot of the modern science, they say brain is the mind, isn't it? You see, mind is little more than a brain. You see. To brain, you can say, oh, your brain is very beautiful. It has no reaction. Does brain have some reaction? You have a very stupid brain. The brain will say nothing, you know. But mind, you see, it's all reaction of the mind. So you are good, so you are not good, so the mind reacts all this. And the mind labels all these things, but we don't realize how these things are labeled. That's what it is called. This kind of obscurations is called adventitious obscuration. They are all temporary. So the mind itself is beyond all things. I'm sure sometimes you have heard of inexpressible. Have you heard of inexpressible? See, you cannot express. It exists or not exists. Where it is exists, where it not exists. But it is within us. We cannot deny that, you know. Even you say, I don't like it, it's okay. You don't like it, but you have it. So Buddha, as you know, went all this experiment, okay, from the just wonderful life to the most difficult life, all the way through, and finally then taught his teaching to us. So many great teachers produced from that. Those who understood his teachings and they sacrificed to receive his teachings. Just look at the life story of Mahatma. Have you heard of Mahatma Rosa?
Yes.
Great translator. He sacrificed his life totally, 100%, to bring this Buddha's wisdom to Tibet. And he produced disciples like Milarepa. Still we remember Mahatma Milarepa. So precious. Meditate on these things. Okay. What time do we have?
11:22.
11?
11:22. Whatever you'd like to do, Rinpoche.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just, how many time do we have? Up to 12? How much?
Up to 12, about 40 minutes,
40 minutes?
30 minutes.
30 minutes?
38.
We go through this text, 30 minutes? So, maybe I'm talking too much.
No,
But it's good, you know. As I mentioned, we have very senior practitioners. You know, I hope you don't mind that I talk all about this. You don't feel that my time is wasted. I was expecting something else. Here we have this translated some months ago. It's written by Lord Tito Subru, the heard of the founder of the Tibetan lineage. He was the reincarnation of Aryan Nagarjuna, and he has thousands and thousands of disciples. So one of his disciples called Tapat Hoje. I think he has requested Tito Subru to write him a teaching, write a letter to him. Maybe he was in the retreat. So it's on the stages of Mahamudra practice. So Tito Subru wrote this, a letter to Tapat Hoje, on the stages of Mahamudra practice. So in this text, is short English, you can see 3 pages. And beginning, opening, and then actual teaching and conclusion. The opening is paying homage to his guru, Pamatuba. Pamatuba was the disciple of Kampupa. The great Pamatuba was a great scholar as well as highly accomplished in meditation. And Tito Subru received all teaching from him. From Kampupa's lineage. So he says, I pay homage to the feet of the precious Guru, who is of the nature of the body, speech, and mind of the Buddhas of the 3 times. He perceives, he sees his Guru as the embodiment of all the Buddhas. All the Buddhas, their wisdom, their compassion, their excellent qualities are possessed by his Guru, Pamatuba. So he perceives that. So because of that, a treasure of auspiciousness, all auspicious means all the good conditions, all the excellent results are come from you. And all the happiness come from the Dharma study, practice. You cannot buy happiness from outside, anywhere, but you have achieved in your own mind happiness. So this is the paying homage. And next paragraph is describing who was Tapat Hoje. This was explaining. You are the noble in Tamba. Tamba means noble, pure, holy, accomplished one. You study, practice, and you are really accomplished practitioner who fully possess the accumulation of merit, accumulation of wisdom. You have all the accumulations you have. You know the fruit of the causes and result in samsara. You say samsara, you look at the samsara. The 6 realms of the samsara. Heaven, Holy Ghost, animal, human being, demigod, God realms, all their conditions, their nature, and you know the cause of these all states. See, these are very important. See, you knew the fruits of the causes, the result in samsara. And so then, as the trunk of the poisonous tree, so these cause of suffering are the poison. Look at our mind. When we have what's it called, arrogance, from there manifests attachment, grasping. Then from there we face obstacles, there's anger. So these 3 poisons, they are the root cause of all the suffering. So these 3 poisons are cause of the samsara. Now he's saying, trees. Because of this, you fully ordained in the doctrine of the sage. Ordained means you free from 2 how to free from all these poisons, you are ordained. In the doctrine of the sage means in the Buddha's teaching. Sage is the Buddha, doctor is the Dharma. In the Dharmas of the Buddha's teaching, you are ordained, fully ordained. Because you know it, not just emotionally, no. You are free, devoted, and have the awakened, the karmic connection with Dharma. See, because of this, your understanding of this, your full devotion to Buddha's teaching, to study, practice, and have awakened the karmic, karmic connection with the Dharma. The glorious eternal note of your mind is filled with the ambrosia of the teaching of holy beings. So all the teachings you have studied, Buddha's teaching and all the lineage masters that you have studied, you understood their meaning, and that all the wisdoms you have just filled in your mind. With the ambrosia of the teaching of the holy beings, Buddhas and all the lineage masters. For the benefit of yourself and others, you fully engage in practice, you see, not just to understood, you studied enough, but you also engage in the practice. That's a very important point, as mentioned. Like, study is like preparing your own meal. And the practice is like you are just cooking and eating, digesting. Eating all this food that you have cooked is like practicing in your mind. Mix your mind with the Dharma teachings. Engage in practice. You have devotion for the body, speech, and mind of the emanation body of the precious Guru. You see, you have such a strong devotion to your Guru, not just emotionally, but confidence with the body, speech, mind, emanation body of the precious Guru, the protector, without being deceived by even a hint of the corruption of beautiful words and market milk. You are not deceived by beautiful words. Sometimes you say there's some beautiful words, explain, play, all these things. Look so good, not being so practical, and you are not deceived like this. You are free, mentally prepared to penetrate the meaning of those teachings. And you study, you practice this, you know this. So, beautiful words from market milk. See, in the West we don't have that market milk. In the East, market milk is milks are more kind of mixed with water, a lot of water, It's called market milk. Not so authentic, Here you have 2% milk, full milk, you have all this, You accept the authentic teachings, you see. You have such a wisdom, powerful wisdom to understand the meaning of the teachings, to follow the path. As you have such a strong dedication to follow this path, to digest the teachings. So this is short explanation of Tapadoji, where Jiddu is writing this teaching. You can see, as mentioned, Jiddu has so many disciples. And then how many, you can imagine how many would request to do. And he, without getting tired, he liked all those disciples. So he was so responsible. That's why he could produce such great disciples. in his life story they mention. Some highly accomplished in the scholarship, realization, says, I'm the one, When there comes to Jiddu, and Jiddu has something to say, to satisfy them. And becomes his disciple. There are some so stupid, knows nothing, and just heard of Jiddu Sundar. I'm here in front of you. I know nothing. Please help me. And Jiddu Sundar never ignore that person. He has something to say to satisfy him. Such kind of great teacher, totally dedicated to the sensual needs. There's no discrimination. Some are so rich, they make offerings, so much things. And some has nothing, and he shares all those things. That's how he became so famous. Such, which embodies the bodhicitta, totally embodies the bodhicitta, you see. Yes, his disciples. Now from here, his teaching here starts. First, he said, contemplate the impermanence of all phenomena. You just sit down. We can do this, You just be here, pass as pass go. You just don't come yet here. Now here we are. You just take a breath. Breathe in. Just see how impermanent the air is coming outside, the nostril, inside, breathe in. And now, exhale, breathe out, slowly. Look at this, how impermanent. Coming in, breathe out. So breathe in all the blessings, the Buddha, Bodhisattvas, their love and compassion. Breathe in. And it pervades in your mind, body, totally. And breathe out all the delusion, negativity. And then you just experience this is what's called impermanent. Now I understand. Breathe in. Breathe out. Destination in everything that comes. Everything you receive as a mirage. Look at the beautiful flowers here. I know they're so beautiful, but every second is changing. In a few days, we fade. We throw in the trash. It's changing. So, what we should contemplate is, these are just examples. But in the mind, most important is look at the mind through this understanding. Where is, yes, I understood this is the wisdom. You've got the wisdom. You awaken the mind, destroying your concept of the seeing is so concrete, permanent. That kind of feeling is purified. Now you can see as just satisfaction with this meditate. And there, when you have that kind of wisdom, then there's nothing to attach to. There's nothing to desire for. And then there's nothing to develop anger, aversion. You see, this is how to free our mind from this ignorance, attachment, and aversion. When you could meditate on this way, you see, then you feel your mind is so relaxed, peaceful. You see, our mind is always disturbed by this attachment, anger, hatred. You know. That's what we need. That is why we are practicing Dharma. Meditate like that. Everything is constituted within the framework of the impermanence. Just relax there, meditate there. With that, see, remind yourself and meditate on the impermanence of death. It is most important to cherish this recollection and reflection of the death. There's just, I mentioned before as well. Death is not threatening your eyes or that. Just to see the reality nature as it is. Yes, one day I was born. One day I will die. In between, I make so much effort, work hard for living this life, to have happiness, joy, but how much I get it. It's all usually nature. Without food, kind of satisfaction. We work so hard, but never achieve satisfaction. So look at this way, how we can achieve peace. When there's more peace in the mind, there's a joy, happiness. See. So now here Jiddu says, even if you are recognized as good and noble practitioner, your people acknowledge you, or you are very good practitioner, successful practitioner, and a very decent person, still, but you don't have understanding and practice of the permanence, still you are stuck in the samsara. See, in reality, you are still the worldly being. If this teaching is not born in your heart, the impermanence, the sense of impermanence not in the mind, still you're grasping everything's real, it's a mission, concrete, substantial. So, I'm a good practitioner. Then there's an arrogance. So that doesn't help us to develop the Dharma practice. That doesn't help us to free from samsara. Therefore, noble beings, you are noble one, Tabatorje, cut off worldly concerns and always persist in meditation practice. Doesn't mean don't eat, don't wear clothes, okay, but not too concerned, or so much attached to this. Okay. This precious human life we need for the Dharma study, practice. Okay. sustain this body, we need to eat food, therefore, not too much concern, not too much attached to this. Because it only brings us up. This is a tool, this precious human life is a tool. It's like a boat, a ship to cross the ocean. When you cross the ocean, you leave ship behind. When you're traveling in the train or flight, you go through the flight, train, and at the station, when you arrive, you leave behind. So the life of body is like that. To respect, to appreciate, and don't too much concern, don't too much attached to it. Just you take care so that you can practice Dharma successfully. 아주 중요해서 왜?
그렇죠.
아,
그렇죠.
맞죠?
좋아.
정아. Yeah, that. And next, he said, Siddhartha said, when you practice meditation of the Buddhas of the 3 times, the foundation of the teaching is the training in superior moral ethics. See, all the Buddhas of the past, Buddhas of the future, Buddha at the present, what they teach is way to how to free from samsara. That one starting practicing, not just to have happiness in this life, joy in this life, but how to free from samsara. How much the precious human body has the ability that help us to cross the samsara, achieve enlightenment. So to practice those things, first, the moral ethics is foundation of all the Buddhas of the past, present, future. Sometimes you may have heard of some very highest Vajrayana teachings, very high, that's view of this, you don't need these moral ethics, They may say, they don't know the causality, how causality works, they don't know, It's not easy. Have you heard of the Nagarjuna story? He lived in the world, supposedly, 600 years. At the end of his life, and he has such a devoted sponsor, a king, very devoted to Nagarjuna, totally, That's why he wrote a letter to my friend. Nagarjuna wrote a letter to his friend that, And the king was also totally devoted to Nagarjuna. Whatever Nagarjuna says, he says follow. So that because of that conditions made that Nagarjuna said, until I die, I will except you will not die. You will not die until I die. Then the king, he has a son, maybe teenage, some maybe 20s. His mother made such a beautiful cloth, bouquet cloth, so beautiful. So mother said, "The son, you come here, now you wear this." And the son liked that cloth so much. And he said, "Mother-in-law, I like this cloth so much, thank you so much, So then mother said, "Now you wear it." And the son said, "No, I don't want to wear this. I want to wear this when I become king." means when his father dies. And the mother said, no, your father will not die. Your father will live forever, because Nagarjuna can live, And then he was very depressed, okay, the son. And then mother said, you wear and just enjoy life. The son said, no, I cannot enjoy my life. I cannot wear this clothes. And then he started hunger strike. He was not eating food, He was not eating food. And as a mother, mother likes her son so much, I cannot bear my son going through this. What should I do? So then she thought, Nagarjuna was a great Bodhisattva. So she called her son, come here, I will give you advice. Nagarjuna was a great Bodhisattva. You ask to give his head. Then, if he gives you Nagarjuna's head, means Nagarjuna will die, and your father will die. And the son was very excited, went to Nagarjuna. Said, today I come here, so I beg your head. Nagarjuna thought about it. Now it's time, actually. My time comes to go. The way I have died, I have karma to pay. Well, just, hundreds, thousands of years when I was born as a shepherd. And in the grassland, I play with the grass and cut a small buck head by the grass. I killed, not consciously. The buck was killed. The insect was killed. So I still have that karma to pay. So this is the time I have to pay. So before he realized that, he said, no, you cut my head. And the child, the son, came and threw the knife on his neck. But because Nagarjuna was totally realized the emptiness. Totally, there's no separation, emptiness in himself. So his knife is like going through the space. Nothing obstructs, Then Nagarjuna says, I have that karma now. Tomorrow you bring the grass, a bundle of grass, and come. Next day, then you see the child came with a handful of grass and threw a Nagarjuna's head forward. See, even Nagarjuna has to pay the karma. He realized totally all the emptiness, okay? That's the karma, how they play. If somebody says, when you practice high view, there's no karma, there's something is missing, Okay? Okay. That's anyhow. So this all what I'm talking about is avoid all the non-virtues. This called keeping moral ethics purely by avoiding all the non-virtues. It's called moral ethics. Training of the spiritual moral ethics, which you have accepted and vowed. You accept fully. You are fully ordained, and you kept the vow fully. So vow. If you do not protect your moral ethics accordingly, as Buddha taught, here I said I used this word before. Prescription and proscription. You know this word? I use this word. You know that word? Prescription and proscription. Proscription, you know that? No, prostration. Proscription. You look at your dictionary. These two words are very important word, okay? Proscription. What is that? Can you read aloud?
The proscribing or prohibition.
Prohibit. Yeah. Proscribe is
Yeah, the proscribing is prohibition.
proscribe is the doctor. When you go to doctor, I don't say don't eat this, you know. This is not good for your health. Okay? So not to do these things are prescription. Okay? What to do, all things called prescription. Doctor prescribe me, this is medicine, you know. Doctor prescribe me to eat this food, that food, this food. So what Buddha said, don't do this, means something. Buddha is not making something to some discipline to limit yourself. Okay. Instead, this Buddha prescribed so that we will not fall into the suffering. Okay. Buddha prescribed to do this thing means it's good for us to free from suffering, for peace and happiness. Okay. So this, what is the moral ethics? This is about that. Okay. Shila. These two words, please remember. Prescription and proscription. Okay. So here, training spiritual moral ethics, which you have accepted and vowed. If you do not protect your moral ethics accordingly, you will be unable to achieve liberation from the suffering of the lower realms. So, to free from the lower realm, hell realm, Holy Ghost, animal, no? All to free from this, you have to keep the moral ethics purely. Okay. Sometimes you may say, chant this mantra will help you to free from samsara. I think it's very true. Sometimes it makes very easy. You chant this mantra every 100 times, then you will have in the heaven. No. If we take care of the moral ethics, Shila, then it is guaranteed that to protect from the sun. Okay? It's very important. Okay. And you will have, then you have deceived all the Buddhas. If you don't do that, it also deceives the Buddha. So practice of supreme moral ethic is virtuous in the beginning, middle, and end. How to become a better human being. Okay? Basically, how to become a better human being for yourself. So to you avoid that. If you practice the 5 precepts, avoid all the non-virtues related to the 5 precepts. And practicing 5 precepts is you feel so good yourself. You're well protected from this. You're precious to yourself, precious to others. Yeah? Therefore, protect this virtuous practice as you do your eyes on life. So as we keep our eye, how you protect your eye, how you protect your life. Same way, keep the moral ethics Okay. Basically, protect yourself. You are your own protector. To free from samsara, to have peace and happiness. Okay. That's good?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now take a deep breath. Okay. And exhale. Okay, relax first. Make your mind calm, peaceful. Just briefly refresh this morning. Refresh, reflect, refresh this morning what we went. And if you understood something, you appreciate, rejoice. And you just say yourself, I'm so fortunate, I have this precious human life. Because of this precious human life, I've got opportunity to come here today, to reflect Buddha's teaching. So precious. I have the all kind of opportunity myself, how to be a better human being, more peaceful, happier. This I can buy outside from the market. Only I can achieve from within. What do you say?
Maybe
What do you say? Short one.
short one, just Chanchuk maybe, so on page 225, maybe the first prayer, twice in Tibetan, once in English, and you can share it. Yeah. Okay, or we can just do it. Okay.
May precious bodhicitta arise where it has not been, where it has never decreased, but grow higher and higher.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rinpoche.
Thank you. Have a good lunch.
Okay, so we'll take a little bit, prepare whatever we have for the potluck in the back here. And we'll be ready shortly. So we're gonna take a 2-hour lunch break, so you get to relax on meditation. If you need to go out and pick up something, it's fine. But we'll have lunch ready shortly, just in the back here. And then the Dharma shop will be open. I think Dane and Bonnie can help. Claire's not here this morning. And again, we have some Kenchen's books and different things, so you're welcome to look there. And again, thank you. So we'll resume at 2 o'clock, okay? Yeah, thank you.
Recording stopped.